Well, hello everyone, this is Joe Drums coming to you. I hope everybody out there is doing great. I'm doing great, feeling fine. I just wanted to kind of make a new video here today and talk about a couple of new things that happened. And so I want to talk to you about those today. I know it's been 2 months since I've actually posted a video, so sorry for that, but been extremely busy with teaching. And I have another thing that I wanted to tell you about, which is I have a brand new TV show. However, you can't watch it unless you're into the Detroit area. It's a local channel on one of the cable channels here where I live. So, other than that, but the show's going really good. I enjoy it. It's called Joe's Drum Shop, and it's basically about kind of what we're talking about here, drums and notes and different things. Right now I've started actually kind of starting people learning how to read music, and so we've been into a book, this one right here, called Drums 1, which I've got videos on this book too. Drums 1's been around for quite a few years. It's called The Fast Track. It's put out by Hal Leonard. It's like $8 for this. And so if you're just getting started and you really need a good way to start and a fast way to get it up and running so you can play some beats, this is the book to do it. So I started using, for the TV show, using this book. And I'm going through chapter by chapter with this. I'm doing the whole book. And then when this gets done, I will complete the series, each book I'll do. And that's going to be what the TV show is about. And getting up and running and playing different beats and stuff like that. So hopefully it'll get some people inspired enough to maybe get a drum set down the road, or a practice kit, or even an electronic kit for that matter, and get started playing drums. So hopefully that will continue and hopefully in good success, and everybody seems to love it right now. The second thing I wanted to talk about was I had a couple of videos back in the day, one talking about the Remo spokes and talking about Rototoms. And that's what this video is going to be talking about right today, is Rototoms. Now I have the 6810 Rototoms as of right now. I got them back in 1978, 79. I was in like 8th grade. Got them for Christmas one year. I remember getting the present opened and noticed that they were Rototoms. And I had all these other presents under the tree, and I was supposed to unwrap those, but I just grabbed the Rototom box. I went downstairs and started hooking it up and setting it up and putting it all together and playing it on my drum set, my blue drum set, which is the CB700s. And I'll tell you, I just loved it. It was kind of like adding new drums to the drum set and making it bigger, like Neil Peart's. That's what I wanted. And it was a cheaper way to do it. Of course, instead of getting the real drums and everything, of course, it'd be a lot more expensive doing it that way. But when you don't have a lot of money and you don't have a lot of options, that was what I wanted for Christmas. So my mom and dad definitely granted that request that one year, and boy, I love that's one of my most memorable Christmases was definitely that, getting the Rototoms. So since then, I've had the 6810, but over the years, I always thought, wow, what it would be like to have Terry Bozzio's 1980 set. And I kept thinking about it and looking it up and researching his drum set. The only thing is you can't find a lot of pictures on his drum set. Now, they came out with, maybe about 5 to 10 years ago, they came out with a video, I think it was on DVD, of a Terry Bozzio getting back in the studio with one of the Beatles producers. And he basically set up the kit, and I was like kind of hooked from then on, and I was like, well, now I started looking for Rototoms, and I couldn't find any. Of course, Remo doesn't make them exclusively now anymore. The only thing that they make are the 6810. You can see those. But everywhere else, all you can find is these used ones. And so I was really wanting the new ones. and I looked on steveweiss.com. Now, if you don't know what steveweiss.com is, it's a real good percussion, devoted, kind of like a musician's friend or a Sweetwater, that has Rototoms besides the 6, 8, 10. They have the 12, the 14, the 16, and the 18. So I thought, wow, I'm going to see if I can order some of these. So I went online. They were all out of them when I was looking for them. So I had to wait and wait and wait. Finally, about like 6 months later, which is just recently, I got online and they were back in stock again. So I hurried up, and I ordered the 12, the 14, the 16, and 18. We're going to get started. I'm going to show you those. I'm kind of looking at the set right here, right now. I've got them set up. I don't have exactly the way Terry Bozzio had them, because originally back in the 80s he had double bass and a snare drum. So he had two acoustic bass drums. I think they were 22 or 24, I'm not sure totally. Again, I haven't found a lot of information about this, but I know back in the 80s when I used to listen to Missing Persons, they didn't really have anything, other than a couple of little pictures on the album covers, or maybe you'd see something in a magazine. But they do have on YouTube, you can watch the whole entire show on YouTube at the US Festival. So if you type in Missing Persons, US Festival, you can see the full-length concert of them playing. And let me tell you, I was watching that so meticulously over and over, trying to find exactly how he set them up, the hi-hats, how they were, the chinas, the crashes, the ride. He had a second set of hi-hats that stayed closed. So I went and got, basically I've had all this stuff for over the years. I had an X hat, Tama made what they call an X hat. And that basically is a extra hi-hat that you can mount on a cymbal stand and have it stay closed, but there was a knob underneath. And again, I'm going to show you all this as we go. And you basically loosen the knob up or tighten it or loosen it, and it will open the cymbals up a little bit more or close them, however tight you want them. So I've got a little demonstration I'm going to show you of the kit, and then we'll kind of take a look and see how all these drums are put together. Again, like I said, I don't have it exactly like him. I'm still missing a part. Believe it or not, there's an ice bell that he used to use on the drum set as well. I have an ice bell. For some reason, I've looked everywhere in this house, and somewhere it is, but I don't know where. I still haven't found it yet. So that's the last piece of the puzzle that I'm looking for. But instead, on this drum set, because like I said, they had a DVD come out a few years ago, and it was him in the studio setting up the 80s kind of drum set, but he only used one bass drum because we have the double pedal now. So it was nice to kind of be able to do it that way, and that's the way I set it up now. So it's kind of a current version of the 80s kit. It doesn't have the two bass drums, but I'm using the double pedal instead. And I've got the 6.5 inch by 14 snare drum, and I think you're going to definitely like this. So let's get to the set and check it out. I'm going to do a demonstration, and then we'll kind of break it all down for you. Okay, so here we go. Alright, so as you can see, here is the set. Over on the right here, you can see I've got the 6, 8, 10 Rototoms. And the way I have it hooked up, there's the original bar you'll see right there. And that was the original one that came with the kit. The bar that's sticking out here, as you can see, I put it into another kind of existing bar here. I'm going to go over here so you can see the thing, the clamp. And it's clamped right into a kind of a tripod stand, just a regular basic tripod stand, and that's what I use to get them closer. Again, as you can see, I've got them really close to the bass drum. Okay, and that's the trick to getting these lower, because don't forget, you got a hi-hat here that has to be above the Rototoms. They can't be underneath the Rototoms, because again, he had them really low. As you can see, they're really low, both sides here. This is the 12 and 14. And then over here, as you can see, I have the X hat. And there's the knob down below right here. This knob, you can turn it, loosen it up, as I'll do here in a second. and you can loosen it or you can tighten it. So basically, there we go. I like it kind of loose but not too tight, so it's kind of that feel to it. And over there you can see I've got, like, in place of my ice bell, I'm just using my Crotale that I use on the Neil Peart set. I'm using a custom dry light ride, and then underneath I have just a little 12-inch splash cymbal. It's a Zildjian, A Zildjian, and I'm using that to kind of give it a kind of a rattle sound there. I've got a 20-inch Wuhan, and I got another 20-inch Wuhan here. This is a one with rivets in it, though, as you can see. And then I got a crash cymbal over here, 16-inch, and this is a paper thin crash. And then over on the other side there, you can see it's a medium thin dark crash by K Zildjian, and that's pretty much the kit. And there's the snare drum. Like I said, that's a 6.5 by 14. And then as down below, as you can see, I've got the 16 and 18 floor toms. So one's a 16, one's an 18. Now the heads that came with this kit, they were not black dots. They had just clear, very, very cheap heads on it. I'm sure that was to bring the cost down of the Rototoms, and which is fine, because I'd rather go get me black dots, and that's what usually came on when you bought Rototoms back in the 80s. They all came with the black dots. And I've had so many different heads on those, the 6, 8, 10. I've had the Ebony series, I've had pinstripes, I've had coated on there, I've had the fiber skin. So it's just, I had a whirlwind of different heads. But I finally went back to the traditional way because I wanted it to make it look a little more like what Terry Bozzio has. And then I've got the double pedals. I'm going to get behind the kit here so you can see it a little bit better. I'm trying to get through here. And there we go. I'm using the 9000 pedal. And then over here, I just happen to have an old Ludwig pedal that, well, not old, but an older pedal that I've had for a while, the Ludwig. I use that on my Bonham kit. And I'm using the 14-inch. These are the New Beats hi-hats, 14-inch. And basically, yeah, that's the kit in a nutshell. I put the Remo O's on it. I couldn't find a 6-inch one. I was planning on making one. I haven't done that yet. Because it makes it a little less ringy. Because, you know, when you hear it on the record or the CD, they sound a little bit muffled anyway. So they could have put a little bit of gaffer tape or something like that on it. So I just used the Remo O's because I'm playing it mostly, you know, like this, and it's not going out. I'm not playing live with it. If I played live with it, I just would leave them all open, let them ring, you know. And so I have the double pedal there on the bass drum. This is a Tama set. This is the Superstar series. And the bass drum and the snare drum came together. I actually have the toms, but they're all put away because I didn't need those, because this whole set is just nothing but a Rototom kit. And it sounds fabulous. And I'm going to play it right now, and you guys can check it out and see for yourself that sometimes it's good to have Rototoms. Okay? All right, let's take a look at it. Here we go.
Bye.